So, but yeah, totally forgot what I was talking about when I distracted myself there.
Warp
Oh
drive.
yes, rig construction. Yes, 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 yes. So I've been getting into that, and it's been cool. And I think I'm gonna try to push that a little bit harder because out of all of the BPO types that I've got, rigs are amongst the most spotty. I've got a good chunk of small, medium, and large rig blueprint originals, but it's not complete, and I would like it to be complete. But I want to push this harder at the moment. I want to push the construction of this harder at the moment, and hopefully get some more buy orders up and get a little bit more is coming in. I did actually buy a few more BPOs recently as well. I bought a Noctis BPO, and all of the I guess there's no more tiers. I have now all of the battle cruiser BPOs. I was missing the ones. I was missing all of the battle cruiser BPOs for those that can fit heavy turrets for all four races. So I got those now. For ships, all that leaves left is mining barges and finish out the battleships. I've got. No, damn, I used to be able to describe this with tiers. I can't do it anymore. I've got all of what used to be the tier 1 battleships. I've got blueprint originals for all of what used to be tier 1 battleships. And I've got all of the
Warp
Amar
drive.
battleship blueprint originals because I tend to fly Amar because lasers. So I've got all that, and then I don't have any of the barges. I would like to get the barges. So once I flush out all of those, that's going to be several million more between now and then. Then I'm going to push the rig some more and see if I can get enough momentum on rig construction that it becomes worthwhile. That's also going to require the market utilization of my other two backup characters. I say backup character and not alt because alt implies alternative account that I can have the characters up at once. So the way I've got it is I've got two accounts with two characters on each account. So, and then I've got my main character on each account, and then my backup character on each account. And all my backup characters, I've just finished training them so that they can do basic production at the highest level. And oh yeah, this is gonna take a while. Jeez. Well, just more opportunity for me to ramble at you. 39 kilometers away, going at 125 meters a second. Whoop-de-doo. It's one of the reasons I don't like this mission. Um. And get this ready. Launch. Mobile tractor units. Did I get rid of? No, I didn't. Remove that. Go here. Save location. And ba-dum. That's all good. Oops, that should go that way. Um, and now I totally forgot what I was talking about again. Gosh darn it. Self-distraction. Level 5. Oh, boy. So, anyways, yeah, I don't remember what I was talking about. Damn it. I guess I'll kind of show how the productions are going here. Yeah, I know. I need to get these cap boosters up on the market. It'd be nice when these finish, which will be tomorrow morning, or I guess, Eve time technically today. Eve time this afternoon, my time tomorrow morning. Since my time, it is 7:30 in the evening. Go Boston. Still feeling a little bit wonky because I just flew in back from California on Tuesday. It's Saturday now. It is March 1st, by the way, for those curious. So I'm still adjusting the time zone thing because Wednesday and Friday it was work and Thursday was school. So I haven't really had any downtime since I got back until today, thank God. So, but yeah, lots of research and yes, Hot Lab up 1 through 6. I have 6 mobile research thingamajiggamabobs, the standard ones, not the advanced ones. I don't need the advanced ones yet because I'm not getting into Tech 2, not for a while, anyways. I wanna do some other stuff before I get into Tech 2. I want to flesh out the Tech 1 stuff more. I want to start building orcas before I do that. I want to build orcas, and I will get to orcas after I've gotten all the rig stuff robust out. Ah, I remember what I was talking about: characters and accounts and stuff. Okay, yes. So I've got my backup characters, and I'll need my backup characters because between all 4 of the characters that I use on my 2 accounts, that they are currently set up to have over 1,200 orders. I will need that if I'm going full 9 yards with my rigs, with selling rigs, and with all of the other stuff that I've got. And that's not even touching into the Tech 2 stuff. If I push Tech 2 just as hard, and if I also go into Tech 2 rigs, which is kind of crazy, I will probably need to train up characters on the last 2 slots in my accounts so that I can push it up to math, you are failing me, 1,800 orders, which would be good. I mean, I could definitely use that. But the nice thing is that with the setup I have now, I actually don't need my main character at all to run the production and sales anymore. I can do that all with my backup characters. Even my primary alts, I don't need around for that, which is great. Which means that I can actually do stuff with this character as opposed to having him sit in a station all the time and constantly having to check back in, and which gets really annoying really fast. Because, I like playing Eve. I like doing more stuff than just market. I mean, the market stuff is like the backbone of my ability to do things in Eve, which is great. I want to do more. Then also I've been contemplating moving my operations to another system, largely because I think I can find a system that has a higher traffic volume for what I want to do. So yeah. I would like to find a system that's got a higher traffic volume for what I want to do. Yes, people's talking stuff in local, which I totally ignore. But come on, almost there. 3.5 kilometers. 3 kilometers now. Come on, 2.5. And get it? Micro jump. Let's lock these guys. Love that distortion effect. It's really cool to look at that distortion effect when we're getting shot at, because the distortion effect will actually distort the 77, that's it, multi-freak range. The distortion effect will actually distort the beam effect of weapons. It's really cool. I like it. It's a post-processing effect, so it's got some quirks. So it's like the layers don't always stack properly, but it's still really cool. And now I just kind of camp out here and blow stuff up. Yahoo! Fun. And, almost one-shot it. Nice. So yeah, but I'm going to be getting into Eve a little bit harder over the summer while I'm working on that new project, because, oh my god, I will actually have time. I won't have these insane amounts of homework to deal with on such a regular basis. I've been trying to structure my life these days so that... more bad guys. I've been trying to structure my life in such a way that that it would have a sort of a built-in job-like kind of rhythm to it, but it's very hard with homework because, homework is not I can leave it once I'm off shift, because in a way I'm kind of never off shift, and that's annoying. Yeah. It's one nice thing I like about my job right now is that I can leave it when I leave the office. I am loving my job, though. It is... Hey, why did Bastion module turn itself off? Oh, I think I did that. That was probably my fault. That's fine. I'm allowed to be stupid. Me with my slight OCD tendencies. I think I will do another micro jump as soon as this thing finishes spooling. I will do it that way. And this is really just me kind of ballparking things. You know, I could probably try to be more precise about this if I wanted to. I don't want to because I'm fairly happy with the results that I get now. Yeah, this is actually a good mission for me to show you the kind of how I use the Paladin when I'm pushing her a little harder. Alright, and that's cycled. And yeah, even without the Bastion module, I'm still getting a 94k optimal. Pretty darn good, I think. I like to play Leapfrog with the Paladin, you know, it's so fun. Okay, a little bit extra distance there. And then just spool that around, and for my next jump it'll be that direction. Boom, boom. Not sure who I'm going to try to blow up next. The joys of EVE Online. Sweet. Okay. Now I can switch over to Multi-Freak for a few shots here and there. That guy's worth a fair amount, a nice 1.2 mil. So, hopefully I'll be able to pay myself back reasonably soon because I'm tired of owing myself money. It's weird, I take even debts to myself incredibly seriously. Okay, let's see if I can show you that effect. Yeah, take a look at that. That is so cool. That just, oh, absolutely gorgeous. And jumped, and Bastion, and, oh, good. Okay, switch myself over to X-rays. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be replacing my optimal range boosting implant with a rate of fire implant because I'm more than good enough with optimal range. I'm plenty good with optimal range. Not worried about that at all. I'd like to get more damage output and rate of fire especially because that'll let me cycle targets a lot faster. So when I'm one-shotting frigates, rate of fire is a little bit more important than total damage output. With the cruisers, depending on the cruiser, I mean, sometimes I can one-shot cruisers or battle cruisers, but that's usually when I get some sort of above par hit. I'd like to get it to one-shotting them on a regular basis. So a little bit extra damage there. But yeah, I mean, I will always prefer rate of fire bonuses over damage bonuses, even though it means that I'm draining my capacitor faster. The reason for that has to do with law of averages. If I increase my damage, I'm also increasing the amount of variance that I have in my hits. But if I increase the rate of fire, though my individual hit damage is not increasing, the overall variance I'm dealing with decreases because I'm doing more shots in a given time period than I would otherwise. So the damage output is more consistent over time with a rate of fire increase as opposed to a damage increase. Hence why I will always prefer rate of fire increases. You know, of course, with like heat sinks and whatnot, I get the best of both worlds. I get both. Yahoo! I wouldn't mind breaking that up into two separate modules, though, one for rate of fire and one for damage, because then I could just stack up the rate of fire stuff and be just spitting shots out left and right. Oh man, I'd love that. That would be so much fun. I'd probably end up with 2-2 just to optimize the damage per second, because, you know, ultimately the benefit that I get from increasing the rate of fire should not come at the cost of damage per second. That's my philosophy, and I'm sticking with it. And yeah, no, I'm actually pretty comfortable with where I'm at right now. I finally got around to seeing Ender's Game when I was in California. finally, I had wanted to see that for a while. Partially because I really enjoyed the book, except for the ending. My God, worst ending of all time. And partly because I wanted to see if it was potentially lacking in artistic quality enough for me to boycott it. Because that's a big thing for, the pro-LGBT folks out there who are like, oh my God, Orson Scott Card is so anti-LGBT. We totally must boycott Ender's Game because he, like, sucks because of that. And I certainly disagree with his anti-LGBT sentiment, but that doesn't make him a bad artist. I mean, like I said, I really enjoyed Ender's Game, except for the ending. So I thoroughly disagree with the idea of boycotting someone just because I disagree with their political views, rather boycotting their artwork. Their works of art because I disagree with their political views. I think that's stupid. I think that's stupid and wasteful. Now, I do boycott J.J. Abrams and Michael Bay because I think that they have absolutely no artistic capacity, integrity, or sensitivity at all. I mean, Abrams mainly because he has no racial or gender sensitivity in anything he does, and he turned my favorite franchise of all time into complete and utter horseradish. Yes, I'm being a little bit more sensitive to my language. Not completely. I will still slip, and you will notice this multiple times in my videos. But yes, yeah, he turned Star Trek into horseradish, and I'm not pleased with that. Mumble grumble. Michael Bay. Do I really need to explain why? There's 3 Transformers movies out there that personify my issues with Michael Bay. I think I've talked about this before. This may have been in a Kerbal Space Program video, but yeah, so anyways, come on, blow up Dune Connell. I don't like Dune Connell. So, but actually, those are the only 2 times I've ever boycotted. And I guess the perfect example is Tom Cruise. I think, as a person, Tom Cruise is quite lacking in many areas. But he's a really damn good actor and plays some of my favorite characters. And is in some of my favorite movies. I mean, there's no two way around that. I totally willing to admit. I loved the more recent War of the Worlds reboot. I thought that was amazingly good and way better than the old version. Like, what was it, the 80s or something? Something like that. Way better than that version. And Minority Report was just amazing. I loved The Last Samurai. I really enjoyed Oblivion. I mean, I know I'm kind of in a minority on that, but Oblivion felt like I was reading an old school science fiction story from like the 50s or something. I really liked it. But yeah, Tom Cruise is in a lot of movies that I really like. And I don't boycott him for that because he does a really good job. I just don't think as a person that he's all that awesome. But I'm not gonna diss on his art. I'm not gonna diss on his artistic products when my issue is with his personhood. I will diss on his personhood, just like I'm doing right now. Oh boy. So, but yeah. Alright, so I am going to warp back, and just to make sure. Yes, I did. Okay, I wasn't completely daft. This is generally the easiest and most efficient way for me to do this. Add that back as a waypoint there. While I hiccup. Hopefully that's not a trend. I don't like hiccups. Hiccups annoy me. The slow climb. Yes, and oh man. Okay, so yeah. When I start implementing the new database, one of the things I'm really looking forward to is customer profiling. What I'll be able to do is pull information on my customers' purchasing histories over time, and trace that back to the corporations and the alliances they're in to see if I'm selling to any particular alliances or whatnot. Now, unfortunately, I can't bar selected individuals or corporations or alliances from purchasing from me. CCP, take note, that's a feature I would like. But I can at least get a sense on who's buying it and, see if they're like people I like or not. Just stuff and things. Customer profiling, get a sense on who's buying what, so maybe I can get a better sense on where to emphasize my production, even though the market forces themselves will generally tell that to me based on what's buying and selling. And then, I'll be able to automate a lot of the data importing, because, honestly, I love the data analysis stuff that I've been doing. The jumps per system stuff analysis stuff, but I honestly have not touched that data since I had left for California over 2 weeks ago. I've got 2.5 weeks worth of information just sitting backlogged, ready for me to import it into the system, and I haven't touched it. And I should. But I'm looking at the amount of work to get 2.5 weeks worth of data into my database, and I'm like, really? This is why I want to automate more stuff. And see, this is after already automating a good 3/4 of the entire process. Oh boy. So I'll probably just let it backlog sit while I'm going through the semester, and have like three some odd months of information that I'll need to 3-4 months of information I'll need to plug in once I get the new system up and running. But honestly, the data is being collected. The data is not going to change between now and when I develop this newfangled thingamajigamabob. So why do I need to import it right now? The data is just kind of nice now and it's handy now, but since I've got a few other projects I want to work on, it's kind of a lower priority. I really want to get this market stuff done first, because that'll give me a lot more power to examine what I'm doing market-wise at that point. And oh man, the one I really want to do is tie in the market data from Eve Central and compare it to what I'm doing, so that I can get a sense on when my prices differ from the prices on the market by how much, how quickly do I sell stuff? A better way of getting, optimal pricings. I'm still racking my brain on exactly how I want that to work, because there's a lot of different ways of doing that, and none of which I feel are really great. They could work, certainly, and I think they'll do well. Do I use the average price in the region that I'm in, or do I get some sort of median price? Or, because obviously when I'm setting up, I kind of have to think through the process of what do I factor in my own brain when I set up a market order. I'll generally look at what the lowest price in the region is. And if that price is, because that's ultimately who/what I'm competing against, as the lowest price in the region. But there's also a distance issue, a distance factor, where it's like, okay, if this person is like 30 jumps away and they've got the lowest price in the region, does that still even matter? Oh boy. But I also want to try to relocate, because I'm pretty close to a transit route, a transit elbow, I guess. I'm in the Genesis region, and Genesis region there's some activity. It's a hybrid high sec low sec region, but the problem is that the only people I think, I'm not sure about this. This is where the network analysis and the customer profiling would come in. I think I'm mainly serving those individuals who are primarily headquartered in Genesis. So I'd like to get a more diverse market going, but I need that would require me to identify a new place to locate, which means I'd need to get the network data. And I also need to get myself a new freighter, which is another issue entirely. Oh boy, I should get myself a new freighter. I sold it to get the Paladin, and that's actually that was a good move on my part, because ultimately the Paladin is getting a lot more use than that freighter was. The freighter was awesome. I'm done with it now. I'm moving on. But building stuff in station is perfectly fine for my needs right now. It's also a lot less of a hassle, because what I used to do was I used to use the freighter to move stuff to my starbase to build it there. That got annoying really fast, especially with the larger stuff. Like when I was building battleships remotely in that fashion, it was sort of, oh my god, annoying. So, would like to not repeat that, because, oh my god, annoying. Jump through to Stargate. So, and I have no idea how long this video is going to be. I wonder if I'll have to break it up into 2 videos. Well, if I do, then I will probably, well, if I do, then this will be the second video, and you already know that I have broken it up in between the 2 missions, but well, I will find out once I actually look at the video thing itself. I used to plan this stuff out and really, sort of be like, okay, so I'm setting a timer, make sure that I don't run over X amount of time, and it's too much of a pain in the butt. I just want to record videos. I just want to, like, have my fraps doing its thing and ramble into the microphone for you guys to all listen to while I'm doing stuff in EVE or in Kerbal Space Program, and I'll probably try to get back into Evergreen Mercenary at some point, because that was actually a fun game. I enjoyed that. But, all the timing ever. Alright, work myself back. Switch that over to the combat display. Got my 5 different displays here. Combat shows anything ship or NPC related. Navigation is just gates and anything, that has to do with moving myself around, ideally in high sec. Low sec is like a blend of combat and navigation. So I can, when I jump out of a gate, I can see the gates that I need to go to, and I can see the people who are trying to kill me around the gates that I'm passing through. Mining / objects, shows me asteroids, and it also shows me any dead space objects, really, stuff that I might need to blow up. Salvage exploration, you saw that tab kind of already. Anything salvage related and anything exploration related as well. So like the profession sites, those come up there too. So it pretty much covers everything. I would like a few more tabs just because I want a little more nuance there, but it works for what it is. And mobile tractor unit goes back here. And this kind of crap goes into my wreath because, hey, I can sell crap at some point. Okay, so I've got, it's 43 estimated. That's 51. About 2 or 3 more missions and I'll be able to pay myself back. Awesome. Alright, lads and gents, this has been EVE Online. I don't know when I'll make my next video because the EVE videos are really me making it whenever I feel like it. The Kerbal Space Program videos, I'm hoping I'll be able to get a new one out by next Wednesday, but I'm not sure. I mean, midterms, I went from a vacation into midterms, and yeah. I would like to jump back into Kerbal Space Program because it has been a while, and I may have the time and energy to do that right after I do this video. We'll see. I'm hoping my controller has charged up enough so that I can, but, totally at my discretion on that one, as all things are on my channel, I guess. I'm sure that that's a really annoying statement to a lot of you because, I kind of got into this habit of releasing videos for Kerbal Space Program on Wednesdays, and, I haven't for the past 2 weeks, which was really my fault. I should have done more videos beforehand, but, timing and energy levels and, oh my god, grad school. So I totally blame myself for that. I'm just telling you what my excuses are. Not to get a free pass, but just to be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, you're still suck, but okay. So anyways, alright folks, this has been EVE Online, and I will see you in the next episode.